they're such a great bunch of guys. First of all, they have such character. Saturday really stood out to me. There was no panic in them, and they just kept going to work, and I was really proud of that. So I think the biggest thing about these guys, they have unbelievable experience. They have great character, and now it's just getting down to the preciseness of things. In the offensive line, 1 inch makes a big difference. If you take a step, just 1 inch out too wide, that might need to leave enough room for a defensive tackle to get through and get to the quarterback. So to me, with these guys now, we're able to hone in on just the real preciseness of it, and it reminds me of being in the NFL. Sometimes you can get away with things against certain opponents or certain players. You're not going to be able to get away with it against other opponents and other players. So that's the biggest thing right now. We're just trying to get it exactly precise, and I think we're going to be able to do that.
What is it about Alabama that makes them so dominant on defense? Is it just talent, or is it scheme and all that stuff as well?
I think it's a combination of things. First of all, talent. I mean, there's no question they have unbelievable talent. And then coaching. And coaching is not always all about schemes and fancy things. And these guys are just so well coached. They don't do a lot. I mean, they do enough, but they don't do a whole lot. But, man, when you look at them, they know exactly where they're going. They play with their eyes. You can see everybody. I mean, so that's what makes it really difficult because, they know exactly what they're doing. And you couple that with talent, and then they do enough on third down to make things interesting. So, let's face it, Coach Saban and that whole staff are some of the best coaches in the country, and it shows the way they play.
Y'all got some things done between the 20s last year. What makes them so effective in the red zone?
You know what? The red zone gets tough down there. I mean, because everything gets quicker. Everything's tightened down. The space is gone. So that's where, it really gets real for an offense. I mean, the holes are tighter, and, there's less room to run and things. So that to me is the red zone wherever I've been has been tough, unless you're just flat out dominating and you can line up and knock people off the ball. But other than that, it becomes really difficult. So I think it's more the space on the field, just makes everything, the throws have to be more precise, because a safety, for instance, let's say you're on the 6-yard line. Well, if you're on the 35-yard line, that guy might be 15 yards deep. If you're on the 6-yard line, he might be 7 yards deep, and he shows up a lot quicker, so it's those kinds of things that makes it difficult.
What specific challenges does Alabama pose when you guys are trying to protect your quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, it's, again, I think it mostly goes back to talent, and just being great technicians and well coached, just like I was saying. So, it's, let's face it, I mean, somebody runs a 4.6 around the edge is a lot harder to block than somebody who runs a 4.8, 4.9, you know what I mean? And someone that has the power and the strength that those guys do. So, they're just big, they're long. The one thing that I always feel like about Alabama, they've got great length. They lock out, and you're trying to lock out, but they've got more length than you do in some instances. So, to me, those are the things that are the toughest.